There's a way you can shop, check out, and leave the grocery store knowing that you just spent less money and got the very best deals. We dropped a video on Monday where I showed you how I made 5 different recipes using just $11 worth of ingredients. And oh boy, did we get a lot of questions after that video about how in the world I am finding these kinds of deals. In this video, we will dish all of our best supermarket secrets and tell you how you too can get the very best deals at your local supermarket and drop your monthly grocery bills.
If you don't know us, I'm Larry.
I'm Hope.
And every week we bring you videos on practical frugality. The first thing we all need to do is understand the store layout. The store is put together in a specific way to get you to spend more money.
There are experts that are hired to lay out grocery stores in such a manner that you spend more time and more money than you really thought that you probably would. This is a serious profession, guys. These experts look at the behavior of shoppers in the supermarket, and they look specifically at something called dwell time. Dwell time is the amount of time you spend standing in front of a display before you finally decide to put something into your supermarket basket. The goal of the layout of the grocery store is to guide you to those areas. Yep. Have you ever noticed when you walk in a grocery store, you can't really walk from the front of the grocery store all the way to the back of the grocery store in a direct line of sight. It is designed so that you go down an aisle and you get to like a T intersection. Now, whatever is on the wall in front of you on that T intersection is generally something that is more expensive. It might be some private selection items. It might be some organic items. It may be the natural food section. It might be pots, pans, pot holders, can openers, things that you need to cook, but not actual food. Now, here's a hint for you. If you're going to buy a new set of pots and pans, the grocery store,
not the best place.
Probably not the best place to get the best deal.
No.
But that wall in front of you is designed to make sure that you see that as you're walking through the grocery store. Now, as you turn to your left or to your right, you are going to be deliberately led into another area of the grocery store where the grocery store makes its most profits and is definitely a dwell time area.
Yes, indeed.
And that is the deli and the takeout food area, because it's very sensory activated, right?
Yep.
You can see it. You can smell it. And you know that just for a few extra bucks, you can take it home. And in 30 seconds after you walk in the door, you can feed your hungry family dinner for that night. But it is going to cost you substantially more than if you bought raw ingredients in other areas of the grocery store.
That's right.
But you don't have to fall prey to dwell time areas in the grocery store. We're going to give you some tips on how to avoid it. The first one is Larry's absolute favorite.
I like to go to a store with a list. I go in, I get the item that I want, and I get out. It's just that simple. Get in, get out. That is my strategy. I don't like to mess around, shopping around, looking at stuff. No, I just want to get in, get out, get back in the car, and get home.
All right, let's talk about the areas of the grocery store that we all kind of want to visit when we go to the grocery store every week, and those are the markdown areas. The areas where you're going to find items which have been put on sale by the grocery store. These are great areas to be able to save some money in, but there's a couple of caveats that you really need to pay attention to. Number one, if you're short on time, there's no harm, no foul to skipping those areas in order to do your get in, get out strategy. Sometimes it's just less expensive to do that. The second thing that you want to note is that some of the things in those areas, they're high priced. They're convenience products. And you know what? Look, you want to not make sure that you're spending dwell time there.
Absolutely. There's a clearance section at our local Kroger store that we like to stop at. It's just a long shelf area. And I don't really like spending much time at all. I'm going to look for items that we need, something that we've planned on buying. We may not have it on our list, but it's an item that we could use to put in the house and maybe put in storage. But there's so many things that are just worthless. I try not to spend much time looking through those and looking at all the things they have. Frankly, a lot of items are very overpriced, even in the clearance section. And sometimes there's some really good deals. So you take a little chance when you look at those.
Weekly ads and circulars. There's actually some strategies for using those weekly ads to your best advantage. All of the major supermarkets have their ads online. There is kind of a trick that you can use, and it's an app called Flip. Flip is an app which has all of the weekly ads for the national chains. You can go there, click a button, and tell Flip exactly which sales flyers you want to look at. They'll send you a weekly email that tells you, hey, have you seen this special deal?
One of the first things you're going to look at on those ads are loss leader items. Those are usually on the front page. Sometimes they're on the very back page. Rarely are they in between. Most of the time, they want to put their best items to catch your attention right up front so that you'll open that and go through the rest of that ad.
That grocery store is hoping that you'll do all of your shopping at that store because you're there to buy the loss leaders. When you find those loss leaders, here's something I just noticed this week. I was in at Hy-Vee and I was looking at a case of water and realized that directly across the aisle, bottled water that was $4.99 a case.
It was spring water, wasn't it?
It was spring water instead of regular drinking water. I noticed that almost all those waters had been purchased. There was just a few in the middle of the aisle because what I think happened is that people saw it and thought that they had just misread the ad and went ahead and bought it for $4.99 rather than looking directly to their right and seeing that the $1.99 bottled water was right there.
If you're finding this information helpful, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we would like to have you part of our frugal family. Subscribe.
Now, we can't cover all the tips that we know and the strategies we know about how to save on groceries in this one video. So if you want all of our grocery saving tips and strategies in one handy area, what you really want is our grocery super savings bundle. But I wanted to make sure, because we're talking about getting deals, right, that I gave you guys a great deal on that bundle. So for the next 4 days, I'm taking 30% off of that bundle. In that bundle, I teach you how to grocery shop as a family and make it a pleasant experience. I give you my word, we did it for years. It is absolutely possible to do that.
Yeah, it is.
How to look in your refrigerator and menu plan if you open the refrigerator door and think there is no food in this refrigerator. Then I also teach you how to shop in every single area of the grocery store and save money. And then finally, I'll teach you how to make a grocery price book. The Grocery Super Savings Bundle, guys, 30% off between now and Sunday. I want to make sure, once again, link in the description of the video with the coupon code.
One of the things you might find helpful is to sign up to your store's loyalty programs. This way they can send you some of their discounts. They can send you digital coupons on your phone that you'll use at the checkout, and that will really help a lot. Hope does that all the time.
Time your shopping trips. This, once again, is something that a lot of people don't think about. Those markdowns that we've talked about, those happen at specific times of the day. For instance, if you're going to go shopping at Kroger, generally most markdowns in sections are done by about 10 o'clock in the morning. We have found a super sweet spot Sunday afternoon on the way home from church about 12:30. They have just finished marking down items in the produce section. What's a markdown? Markdowns happen when things are close to the sell-by date or they've overstocked items. So they're going to mark those down up to 50%. Now, in the case of Kroger, you're going to find a special display in the produce department at Kroger where they have put things in red mesh bags. Every one of those red mesh bags, 99 cents. It doesn't matter how many items are in it. You're going to pay only 99 cents per mesh bag. Just make sure that that red mesh bag price is less than the price in the regular aisles of the grocery store for that exact same item. And make sure that you check it for quality too before you buy it.
One of the things Hope and I really like to do is stockpile a grocery item when the price is right. And these would be non-perishable items like canned goods or dry goods. And every once in a while, you're going to find where they clear off a whole section, and maybe they're moving in new products to take the place of those older products, and you can really cash in on those. Hope and I plan for this kind of spending by our 1/5 method.
The 1/5 method is where you take your entire grocery budget and you divide it into fifths. That means that 20% is set aside for stocking up money when you find a great deal. And I'm going to give you an example in just a second, so stick with me. And then the other 80%, you just divide that into fourths, and that becomes the amount of money that you spend each
regularly
week on your weekly grocery trip. This method has worked really well for us to allow us to stock our pantry and stock our long-term freezer, things like that, without going over our grocery budget. So what does this look like in real life? I mentioned to you that I saw the Hy-Vee ad on Flip. Well, I looked a little bit more closely. Hy-Vee canned tomatoes. These were marked at 68 cents in the ad. There was no limit, so you could go in and pay 68 cents for as many of these as you wanted to buy. I went to the store and stocked up, but I knew that this was my stock up price, and here's how. You remember that grocery price book that I talked to you about? The 15 or 20 most common items that we buy. We like to track what the regular basic price is at grocery stores. So when you find a sale and it goes below that price, you'll know that's a great deal and you want to spend some of your stock up money stocking up on those items. I walked in, I bought 24 cans of those. And I knew that I needed it because here's my next tip. I always have a running list of things that are in my pantry that I am running low on. Then I watch for those items to go on sale. When I find it, then I stock the pantry back up again. And right now I have plenty of canned goods in the pantry. Our pantry, by the way, we get a lot of questions on this. We stock our pantry for 4 to 6 months. By the way, in case you're wondering, these same tomatoes, well, not the Hy-Vee brand, but the regular store brand of tomatoes at Kroger were $1 a can. At Walmart, they were 96 cents a can. And at Aldi, they were 85 cents a can. So I knew. Great deal.
68 cents is a good price.
Stock up price.
The next thing that you want to do that'll save you a lot of money, and I think this is kind of obvious, and that's to avoid pre-packaged foods as much as you can. It's so much cheaper to buy the individual ingredients and put it together at home instead of buying something that's already packaged for you. You'll pay a lot more for pre-packaged foods.
Here's something that I've done a lot in the pre-packaged section. I take the item out of the case, and like if it's in the freezer section, I'll take it out and I'll turn it the back side so I can see the ingredients. Grab your phone, just snap a picture of the ingredients.
Great idea.
And you'll know what they put in there. And then you can price the individual ingredients, and you can almost always make it for less at home than the prepackaged version at the grocery store.
Hope mentioned meal planning around sales. If you'd like to see a little bit more about that and how we planned and made some meals around what we had in stock and what she got on sale, we did a video on Monday. Here it is right here.